Welcome back to 3D Sportscast. Again, we're at week 5, but this is our NFC video.
Yes, 33% of the season is done with, sort of ish.
Roughly.
Around.
Yeah, around there, around the.
So by the time this gets uploaded, probably.
We just went over the AFC, so if you want to watch our last video, that's that.
Yeah.
But now with the NFC, let's just start off and go to your team, which
the best team in the NFL, possibly. It might be an overreaction.
But I'll tell you what, you got to be excited if you're a Commanders fan. You do.
Oh my gosh, Jaden Daniels is looking like C.J. Stroud, but. And maybe better?
I'll say that. The Commanders are this year's Texans as far as the turnaround.
CJ Stroud with even more of a run game, I think.
Well, here's the thing. It's very similar because they were bad last year, good this year. You got a rookie coach, a rookie QB, and all of a sudden you guys are
insane.
Are looking great. I shouldn't say Dan Quinn's a rookie coach, but he's the first-year coach for you guys.
For the Commanders, yes. New coach.
Yeah, not a rookie coach, but
new owner, rookie GM.
Yes. New offensive coordinator.
Only 30% of our roster is the same as last year.
Yeah, so a lot of turnaround. It's worked. Obviously,
it's insane.
Jane Daniels is going to win offensive rookie of the year.
Oh, they might as well at least. Yeah,
he may be in the MVP conversation.
Well, the NFL Instagram page, not that it actually means.
Yeah, not that, but still.
But the NFL Instagram page posted after week 4 their MVP ranking, their MVP ladder, and Jaden Daniels was number 1.
Well, and rightfully so. You're 4-1. Through the first four games, he had the best completion percentage through a 4-game span
ever. Period for any player.
Anyone.
To put it into perspective, the guy who was second on the list was 2007 Tom Brady, and he was like 4% lower than Jaden Daniels was.
Mm-hmm. And here's another thing. I want to remind everyone, the last rookie to win MVP was Jim Brown in the 1957 or something.
Forever ago.
So it's
insane.
It's very rare, but at this pace, there's a lot of season to go. But Jaden Daniels is going to win Rookie of the Year, definitely, and the Commanders are in a great spot.
The Commanders last year had the 32nd best offense, which is last.
Yeah, by the way, there are 2 teams in the league.
And right now, we have the second best scoring offense in the league with a rookie quarterback. And a rookie head coach. Well, new head coach for us. And a new offensive coordinator. And a new defensive coordinator that has anything to do with offense. But it's just nuts. You don't see turnarounds like this.
Yeah. And so it's been a great turnaround. And with the start,
they're winning the NFC.
They have a shot at winning the NFC. Now, mind you, they got a lot more season to go. Those division games
which are coming up next week. We're playing the Ravens,
which is again, like I said in the last video, is going to be a game I'm more than going to want to watch.
The broadcasting stations are so excited about it. They tried to flex it because it's a Sunday
1:00 game.
1:00 game, so there's 15 games going on at once. They tried to flex it to the evening game, but CBS Sports would not let them.
Well, because that Sunday night game is the Bengals Giants, so it's kind of like.
Turned out to be a bummer game.
But anyway, they got a shot at the East. Yeah. A lot of time still to go, but for the Commanders, it's been a great start.
I can tell you, if we win this week against
the Ravens, then it's going to put the whole league on notice.
I'm going to get pretty I agree. Irrational with my
I agree though.
Here.
I think if they beat the Ravens, it's going to be like
I'll be buying my Super Bowl ticket. Let's just put it that way.
But seriously, a great start. What a turnaround for the Commanders.
No, it feels great. My team has sucked literally my entire life. We have had in the past 8 years, we've had 1 winning record.
And it was rookie year with RG3, which was a great year, but that just
it wasn't the rookie year.
Was it a second year?
It was it was 2016. He was drafted in 12.
Okay, mate. Because I know they made it to the playoffs with RG3.
I think it was Smith.
Okay. Because they had a playoff team with RG3.
We did.
And
I think it was a wild card.
He got hurt.
And then he got hurt.
There was a couple decent years with Alex Smith.
And we did make the playoffs with
Heineke that one year too. Remember that you guys were wild card?
Yeah, and we
almost beat Tampa Bay.
And then
they won the Super Bowl. Yeah.
But we also did make it once with Cousins.
So you've had some, but
we've still sucked. Teams been bad.
Any great team.
We have not done anything good recently at all ever. But
mainly been wild card teams. Yes. So even if they win a division with a rookie quarterback, that would be great.
Yeah,
now
it'd still be insane.
We'll see. But with the rest of the division, the Cowboys, the next team we talk about, Still, the Cowboys. They're
They
good,
look exactly like
but
the Cowboys
not
look
great.
every year.
Play
You know,
against
I don't-
bad teams.
Yep.
But they're still not.
Yep.
Choke.
They're still going to choke in the first round of the playoffs to Green Bay.
And maybe I'm not one to talk because I'm a Bills fan with choking,
True.
but at the same time, it's like.
Yeah, but you guys choke in like the NFC championship game, or the AFC championship.
The thing with the Cowboys is why they're easy to make fun of is because every year all you hear, oh, this is our year, we them boys.
We
They're
them
not
boys,
them
we
boys.
them boys.
Okay?
They're not them boys. The Commanders are
I'm
the boys.
sick of hearing about the
now.
Cowboys. The Cowboys are on TV every week. Guess what? You guys aren't as good as you think.
Well, I think that makes it easier for them to make fun of them.
They
too.
are.
It's like
Everyone
they're-
sees them as like, okay.
I am tired of
We
watching
don't wanna see
Thursday
you anymore.
Yeah. I'm tired of watching Thursday night football games between the Cowboys and like
The Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the Cowboys won.
It's
Imagine
like, well,
that.
they look good then. But
Yeah.
when they
But
play
it's the
again-
Cowboys. So,
Yeah.
No.
This Thursday night matchup, the Cowboys
So I'll
versus
say this with the
the
Cowboys.
Panthers.
They're a little beat up, and they're not bad. I wouldn't be surprised to make it to the playoffs, but I don't see them making it that far.
And honestly, at this point,
They
in
may
the
not make the
season,
playoffs.
the Commanders look like the best team in the NFC
Yeah.
East. Even above the Eagles, too.
Which is who we're going to talk about now. And they're another team kind of like the Cowboys. We don't really know.
Yeah.
They're good, but something's not
the
off.
highlight
Something's
of their
They're
team
inconsistent.
is
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley.
And that was
Who
the
they-
great
whom they stole.
from the Giants and division
From the
rival.
Giants.
We'll get to it a little bit. The next team we'll talk about. But Saquon's look great.
He looks phenomenal. He looks like MVP
The
caliber.
thing is there's something with the Eagles that's just not clicking yet. And I don't know. You can't even
something's
pinpoint.
off. It doesn't. I don't know if it's the pass game, their defense. The only thing that looks good for them right now is their
Is
rushing. game.
Saquon's good. Yes. And they're not a bad team.
No, they look good.
They're just.
They look good.
I just don't know if I trust them again, like the Cowboys,
Yeah.
making it all the way. I just. I
Yeah.
don't know.
They
But-
just look like a team that would be really nice to lose to the Commanders, and they should do that for us.
And they're kind of like
Probably
the
would.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like the Cowboys without the Jerry Jones budget.
Yeah, without the Jerry Jones budget.
You know,
and
it's just like
popularity.
we're a good team, but we just
That's exactly what
can't
it
make
is.
it. Now, I will say the Cowboys are annoying, but Eagles fans aren't any better. I'll say that.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, at least the Eagles have won the Super Bowl in the past 50 years.
Yes, and they did play in another Super Bowl since then too. So
Yeah. You know,
they've made it farther.
Unlike the Cowboys.
By the way, I think has every team in the league played in at least a conference championship since most teams have since the Cowboys last did.
Yeah, not
Which
the
is
Commanders.
crazy because they're always
That's true.
pretty
My team.
good.
I think there's been a couple teams that have
The last team the Commanders did anything was when they won the Super Bowl in
against the
91.
Bills. So
Yeah.
just one of our 4 losses. But anyway,
Anyway, to make ourselves feel better, we're going to be moving on to a crappy team.
the New York Giants,
Giants.
who lost Saquon, and that was obviously.
Yes.
Is Daniel Jones good?
Yeah, yeah. Is it?
What?
The thing is, Daniel Jones plays good and then plays bad. He's such a roller coaster.
Yeah, the Giants, I will say, I expected them to be on the level with the Patriots this year. They're
actually better than that.
They're a team
Yes.
that can sneak up on you if you're not prepared.
Yes, I agree.
It did not look like that after the first 2 weeks, but now that we're 5 weeks into the season, they have
And
more
again,
games under their belt.
if-
It looks like they are a feisty team.
While they're not great, like you said, they're feisty. And if Daniel Jones has played good, and Malik Neighbors,
He
they're
looks
missing
phenomenal.
Saquon, but their pass game, Malik Neighbors is going to be
Yeah.
a phenomenal receiver. in this
The
league.
craziest thing is teams know Neighbors is the only weapon they have, so they're double teaming.
And he's still
having
has good
phenomenal
production.
games.
Yeah.
If Jaden Daniels wasn't around, Neighbors would be running away with Rookie of the Year.
And which is crazy.
Which
'cause-
goes to show how good Jaden Daniels is playing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy because didn't Neighbors come from LSU too? Didn't they
Yeah,
play
they
together in
played
college?
with each other. They actually had a bet, and they got in trouble for it. But before the season started, they gambled with each other on who would win Rookie of the Year. They got in trouble for it.
Which is funny because
but-
I saw a clip of before the year the Giants GM asking his children in his office, "Who should I draft?" And
Yeah, they're
his
like,
son was
"Jaden
like, "Jaden
Daniels,
Daniels."
Jaden
He's like,
Daniels.
"You should trade for Jaden Daniels. Don't you want to win?" He's like, "You only get this job once. Don't you want to?"
their GM will be fired 100% because they were actually the Giants had the Hard Knocks episodes.
Yes. Well, that's what that was on.
and which is what that was on. And their owner said, "I'm going to be very heartbroken
If you get rid of Saquon."
You get rid of Saquon,
And that's-
especially if it's in the
Well.
division." And not only was it in the division, but
That's exactly what
Saquon's
they
looking like the best running
With the
back
rival
in the league
Eagles.
again. Yeah.
And the thing is then they let another rival team in their division get Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
Now, mind you, Malik Neighbors was a great pick too. He's a great player, but
well, the thing is,
it's just funny.
You know, it's not like they passed on Jaden Daniels.
No,
Jaden Daniels was taken before them.
And they got a good player. It's just fun. They're a funny team to joke
really
about
funny.
because Saquon is now dominating.
Well, even when
in
they
their
won
division,
those
so is
Super
Jaden
Bowls,
Daniels.
you know, even when they won those Super
They weren't
Bowls
great
against
teams.
Brady, it was like
They
kind of a weird
they
thing.
were like a wild-
Eli Manning wasn't great.
Weren't both years they a wild card team that just got
Yeah.
hot at the right time and
Yeah.
just somehow made it through the playoffs and it was just that's kind of how it was. But
Well, Tom Brady just for some reason
yeah,
just had this weird thing with the Manning brothers.
Danny Dimes is not the great quarterback, but at times he looks great.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good future, I guess.
We'll
So,
see. But the Giants are just
Yep.
not great, but they are
They are a team.
they're a team and they're
They are.
they're
They
fun
show
to,
they have good young talent, and
Yes.
their future is looking up.
but they're still fun to make fun of at times. So
They are.
let's go to the NFC West now, which this is a shocker. Kind of. I mean, I picked the Seahawks to be a wild card team, but at this point to be at the top of the division
It is surprising.
is crazy.
Gino's having another,
Seahawks.
another good year. Not as good as his comeback player of the year.
No,
But
but
he still looks better.
Gino's
Like,
great, but they have a lot of good
They
weapons.
do, and
core
their
pieces
defense
that are
is
young.
looking pretty
Their
good.
defense.
too.
Metcalf,
Walker.
Lockett. They got Najigba, Walker, and Charbonnet.
Yeah, that's all I mean. Yeah.
3 solid receivers, 2 good running backs. Gino playing great.
No, the Seahawks definitely. Honestly, it's kind of weird to say, but at this point in the season, they're looking like they could win the division,
Well, and it's funny because
which is odd
as
with the
good as they
49ers
looked,
being in there, which we'll get to.
the
in a
Giants, who we just talked about, just beat them. But we talked about they can be a frisky team. So the Seahawks still, I still am surprised by how
Yeah.
good they've started. Had a couple, but their losses were in Detroit and a close one to a Giants
Which
team
we
where-
just said is very
yeah,
feisty.
and had a very good game.
Yep.
So other than that, Seahawks looking pretty good.
They look
so.
better than I expected them to be.
And same with the Cardinals,
and
who was
this
the
was
next
a
team.
team I actually picked.
You picked them as
to
a wild
make
card
the-
team.
to-
Yep.
Wild card. Kyler Murray looks like he's back. Not to his MVP level performance he had in like 2019.
But he's
good.
performing.
But he looks
Yeah, he
He had
extremely
that one
good.
really good game.
He did
against
What
the
was it?
Rams.
Yeah.
Was it week 2 or week
I think it was
3? One of them.
It was 2 because week
Yeah, I think
3
it's
we
right after
played
the
the
Bills.
Commanders.
Yeah, because we played him week 1 and barely
Yeah.
beat
Yeah,
him.
it was 2.
But yeah, no, Kyler Murray has looked pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and also Marvin Harrison
He's getting
great,
better
but
and
he's showing his
everything.
potential.
Yeah, he is not taking off immediately like Neighbors
Yes.
did.
He's getting better.
But he's getting better every game, and he's showing
You
flashes
can
of
see,
his greatness.
yes, exactly.
But he's playing like a rookie. Again, it's not normal for
Yes,
rookies
exactly,
to be amazing in
exactly.
their first year. So, but other than that, I mean, they're playing good. Still expect them to be a wild card team. So, or again, maybe the division, which is odd, but that
Well,
is
it's the
talking
same
about
with
the
Division's
next.
up for grabs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's the same
which
with
is
the,
weird.
the Seahawks. I picked them as wild card team could
Yeah.
win. Cardinals could win because the team we thought was going to win.
The 49ers
have not had a great
playing
start.
good. Which
No.
it's not because they're playing bad, which they are to an extent, but it's because they have so many injuries.
Yeah.
Christian
CMC's been
McCaffrey
out.
being injured is killing them.
And they've had other injuries here and there.
Yeah.
The Ayuk situation to start to see.
Well,
It's just-
Ayuk has played horrible all year.
his
He
best
has
game
not
was
played
this
good.
this last game.
Yeah,
They
this
actually
is
started
the
to look.
first game where he
Yeah.
looked like Brandon
Well, it's
Ayuk.
funny too because their backup running back Mason is actually really
He's
good.
not
but
that
he
bad,
has been
but he's
playing
still not
well.
a McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Well,
McCaffrey's an MVP.
MVP,
every
yes.
year. Like,
And I don't know, is it the Madden curse?
yeah, I didn't think about that. You're right.
Although Josh Allen was on the Madden cover last year. And
Hey,
he
be
played
careful. The season's not over.
Well, we did just talk in the last video about the concussion
Yeah.
thing, so
Yeah, who knows?
yeah. But no, as far as the 49ers, there's still hope there,
Mhm.
but not a great start
No.
to season.
And if they don't step it up soon, they're going to be
In the more,
they're going to
yes.
have an uphill
Yes.
battle towards the end of the season.
So they got to get it going
and
sooner
and
rather than
honestly,
later. Yeah.
the further we get into the season, the more it looks like Christian McCaffrey may not come back at all this year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When McCaffrey, we talked about
Sucks for your
before.
fantasy team.
When he's healthy, he's great. But the thing is, he's not always been healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing. Well, this is the first time he's been
And,
majorly
and,
injured with
and
the
it's
49ers.
not like
but-
it's a weird thing for his position because the amount of workload
Yes.
he has,
Yes.
the beating that
Yes.
he takes every week is nuts.
The thing is, though, is with what you just said with the uphill battle, that's because the teams like the Cardinals and Seahawks
Yeah, they're
have
playing
been
good.
pretty decent.
Yeah,
Well, even the next team we got, the Rams,
Mhm.
they could be in the mix. Now they've also had the injury bug,
Yep.
but this division just kind of been interesting.
Who knows?
Yeah.
really.
To start.
It's going to be a close division unless one team steps up, which I think is going to happen. I do think whether it's the Cardinals or whoever.
And I think the 49ers, talent-wise, are the best team still in this division. But
this could be a three playoff team
yeah.
division.
Yeah.
the thing is, though, is that you got another division who we're going to get to next with the NFC North, which is great, too.
Which is
But
nice.
I think out of all of them, that might be my pick for the division with
but
three
even the
teams.
NFC East.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the
Yeah.
Cowboys, the Eagles, and the
And the
Commanders at
Commanders.
this point. They all look phenomenal.
Well, again, at this point, it's hard to say.
knows?
But
Well, let's get to
moving on.
the Rams, the last team in the NFC West. Again, like I said, they're injured. That's been part. I mean, all their top weapons.
Their
They
best
got Kupp.
player retired.
Yeah, well, yeah. Kupp and Nakua. Aaron Donald is gone on defense.
Yeah.
Those
From
three
retirement,
guys.
not
yeah,
injury
well,
or
yeah,
trade
but
or
still,
anything, but-
those three guys being gone.
Those were the best top three
Yes.
players on their team.
Yes.
Are all out.
So
And Stafford's not playing.
Yeah,
bad.
Stafford is
he's
showing
not bad,
his age this
but he's
year.
also he's
Well, he doesn't have his top receivers either.
that
So,
too. So
I mean, that
Yeah.
makes it look worse too.
It definitely does.
So-
he's good, but he's aging, and the direction where the Rams are going to go, They got
Yeah.
some good young players, but they're just.
I mean, they're always going to be a good team. Sean
McVay's a
McVay
good
is
coach, yeah.
fantastic coach, but
I just with their as tough as their division is too. This with the injuries, this year is just so far.
that division is definitely going to be the closest. I think. Like, I don't think there's going to be much of a difference. There's a chance they all have winning records.
yeah,
I mean,
we'll see.
which would be weird.
But
That'd be
another
crazy
team
if
I
it's
think
not very
could
often.
have, which all currently have winning records, is
No,
the
right.
NFC North.
Yeah. Which
What
may
about the
be
Vikings?
the best division in football with the best team in football.
And the thing is, we
Sam
said
Darnold.
going into the season in our preseason predictions, this division was going to be good. But we knew the Vikings had pieces, but we didn't think with the
expected Sam
quarterback.
Darnold to
yeah.
play
Sam
like
Darnold's playing like an MVP.
We didn't think the Vikings were going to be this good. And right now, they're looking like the most complete team in football.
Yeah, I mean they're undefeated. There's only 2 undefeated teams, them and the
And they're the
Chiefs.
only undefeated team in the NFC.
They're the only undefeated in the NFC. They have probably, I don't know, would you say Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver in the
Probably.
league? I would say so.
Their defense has played great
Their
too.
defense looks phenomenal.
And Sam
Sam
Darnold,
Darnold
yes.
looks like a top 5 quarterback.
So you have a good defense, the best receiver in football, a decent running game, and a quarterback who's playing solid football.
Yeah.
That's a recipe.
For success,
success.
which is what they are
Yes.
getting.
Yeah.
So they're definitely exceeding
Yeah.
expectations. And
He just left the Jets, and then he's good.
Well,
Quarterbacks need to
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
another
quarterbacks. Yeah,
we talked about Gino earlier too.
Gino left the Jets, playing great.
Yeah, if you play for the Jets, you
Sam Darnold left the Jets, playing great.
Rodgers goes
Rodgers
to the Jets.
goes to the
and
Jets and plays the worst he's
Let's
ever
just
played.
say,
in
The
his
Jets
life.
are a problem.
if your quarterback can play for the Jets, just cut them some slack.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Don't judge
Yeah,
them.
just take it
it's,
easy.
It's not them.
It's
Yeah.
the Jets.
Definitely the Jets. Yeah, but the next team who is playing good, the
The
Lions.
Lions, yeah.
Goff is
Yeah, they're
playing
Well,
probably close to the best we've ever seen it
let's
play.
just say this last game was phenomenal. They had
He
a bye
didn't-
week
he
this
didn't
week,
miss a pass.
but he didn't miss a pass. Had a receiving touchdown. He had more
Yeah.
receiving touchdowns than incompletions. The thing about the Lions that are good, first of all, they had that good season last year, so now they've got
yeah, they
experience
made
in
it to the
playoffs.
NFC Championship game.
They got a good passing game. Goff's good. They got weapons like St. Brown, Jameson Williams stepped up, Laporte at tight end.
Yeah.
And they're
Well,
two
and-
good
and-
running
and-
backs.
And the best part about it
Yes.
is nothing changed
And
as far as the
Montgomery.
Yeah, as far as the scheme went. They've got the same
Yeah.
offensive coordinator, the same defense
That
coordinator, the
too.
same head coach.
Yes.
Having that rolling over from
Right.
a great year last year where they exceeded expectations, this year the expectation
momentum.
is the NFC
Yeah,
Championship
it is.
game. It is the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Right? Like, they are a phenomenal team who is looking to win the
Well,
Super
and
Bowl.
here's the thing is, like I said, all those weapons on offense, they got a good balanced attack. But their defenses look good too. Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
I want to say,
he's looking like
he's looking phenomenal.
an adopted Watt brother. I mean,
yeah.
they're
So
just overall.
they are a solid
good
team.
Mhm.
They had a couple fluky games where they just didn't win, but they're still in a great position. And this
Yeah.
is a team that you don't want to play later on because
No, you're not going to want to play these guys come playoffs.
they attack you in so many different ways. Like I just
They
said,
do.
it's tough to They're tough to stop and know how to defend, and then their defense is playing as good as they are. They're a tough team.
It's nuts. The next team is not great. Not
Well, it
bad.
has some
The
promise.
Bears.
Yes. The
Um,
Bears are, we just talked about the Jets are another team that have never, like, quarterbacks just go there.
yeah,
with like Justin Fields.
We talked about him in the
Now
last
it's
video.
Steelers, Yeah.
So considering Caleb Williams hasn't looked bad, but he's a rookie.
He hasn't. He's looked like a rookie, which again, stop expecting rookie quarterbacks to play phenomenal.
Yes.
They're rookies. They've never played in the NFL. I don't care what you say. The SEC is not like the NFL. Their defenses aren't the same. If you put an SEC team or any college team in the NFL, they're going to get obliterated, even if they play the Panthers. Okay?
Well, and Caleb Williams played in the Big 12 and the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So he didn't even
Like,
play
he
in
didn't
the
play in the SEC. I was just saying because people.
Yeah,
are
I
saying
know.
SEC
But I'm just saying.
is
So, and again, I think Caleb Williams got potential, but the Bears aren't there. This is
and
not
he's
their year
showing
yet.
his potential. He looks good. He's definitely a diva.
And there's some drama
He's
there. Yeah,
showing his drama, which we all knew he would have.
And there's the Bears. Like I said, organization has not always been great, but they
their,
have
their
the pieces.
defense hasn't looked bad either. I mean, they've got
The defense has actually won them a couple games.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
because their offense is
One of those
isn't very good.
being given to by Will Levis, which we talked about in the last video.
Yeah. No.
But I
They
will
could
say
have a future.
they have a few. They could.
They do.
The
It's
future,
looking bright for them.
we'll
I
see.
like
Right
their
now it's
future.
good. This is not their year though.
It's not. I like their future better with
What they got
Williams than I did with Fields.
because
But they have a much better team.
it wasn't
around
just Williams; it's the
Yeah.
other pieces they got
Yeah.
too. And again, we
Well,
talked
and then
about
you get the stupid Bears fans saying that, it's because Jaden Daniels was taken the pick after.
Yeah.
him. They're saying, Jaden Daniels went into a much better situation. No, he didn't.
no, he didn't. Actually, the situation
The situation
for the Bears was pretty
was
good.
phenomenal.
For
They
a
had
rookie quarterback?
they have a good O-line. They're just
Yeah.
not playing well. They have a great defense.
Well, look at their
They have
receiving
good
weapons.
Receiving weapons.
like
It's just not normal for rookie quarterbacks to play good. Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, those are the exceptions.
And I think too, look at the situation, which we'll get to the Panthers, but look at the situation that Bryce Young went into last year. This situation is way better. And also, if you're a Bears fan, thank the Panthers because the reason you got the piece you got is that trade was
that
probably
was
one of the worst
so
trades
bad.
ever.
Worst
but
trade ever.
the Bears, you guys won that. Again, this is not your year,
Well,
but
especially considering they benched Bryce Young now.
yeah, which we'll get to. But it's not your year, but there's some bright spots for the Bears, and I think the future could be bright. We'll see how it goes. There's still a lot up in the air, but and also in the division you guys are in, it's just too tough.
It's gonna be tough.
It's too tough. So,
But
and the last team, which is also still a very good team,
like
the Green Bay
the
Packers.
Jordan Love, looking good. He had a little bit of an injury.
Yeah, he was only out for a couple
hurt.
weeks.
I think he was out for
But they
2.5
managed it.
weeks.
They won
Yes.
with Malik Willis a couple games.
They have a good team
And good coaching.
and good coaching. They have some of the best coaching in the league, which having good coaching makes a difference. Again, back to Chicago. Look at Fields. And then look at how he's doing now with the Steelers.
Yeah.
He's playing
Good,
really well.
Well, and I'll say this too: not only do they have good coaching, but the Packers are still one of the youngest teams in the league. You know, we talked about this before.
Is it the Lions next?
There maybe I can't remember, but they're
But either way, they're one of the youngest teams.
And so the fact that you have they made it. They almost made it to the NFC Championship last year as well. So you have some playoff experience. As young as you are, if Love stays healthy, I mean, the Packers should be a playoff team as well.
They're a playoff team, for sure. I mean, Jordan Love is good. They're a good team.
So that NFC North, I'm interested to watch a lot of those games because who's going to come out of that will be interesting. But Packers,
interesting.
another good team.
Moving on to a team that has
Started off
very high expectations.
slow, but has looked very good and had high expectations.
Yeah, the Falcons. Like you said, they did not start off great, but every single week they look better.
And I think a lot of that is they're gaining chemistry, and also Cousins is gaining his confidence back.
He threw for 500 yards last week.
And 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
you don't.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, it was really funny because so when he threw for the 500 yards, they
They're
had
honoring Matt
a
Ryan.
honoring Matt Ryan night,
And he broke his record.
He broke his
Yeah.
all-time
Yeah.
passing record or his single game passing record. This is really funny.
But the thing is the Falcons had a high expectation going in because of what they added. It was a slow start, but again, your team's got to build that chemistry, get to know each other. And they've gotten better. And Cousins also coming back from an injury. You're not going to be 100%. But as we see it get on, we're seeing the team
he's
gel.
getting back
And
into
we're
the
seeing
swing of
Cousins
things,
starting to play like
building-
Cousins.
Building his confidence. This team looks good. I would look for them, if they don't win the division, make the playoffs.
Yeah, there still at least
Yeah,
should
they're
be a
definitely
wild
a
card
playoff
team.
team.
Yep.
Although we've said that about like half the teams here. So
I
some
think
of
we've
them,
only said
I mean,
about 5 teams, which
Yeah.
honestly, wild
One
cards
of them-
are usually down at the last couple games of the season.
And I
Yeah.
think too
We'll see.
what it's going to come down to is just which team
Who
stays the
healthy.
healthiest.
Health is
Yeah.
huge.
But so far it was a slow start, but the Falcons looking like we expect them to.
Yeah.
But
And then-
another team that's looked pretty good that just lost that game to the Falcons in overtime.
Yeah,
Crazy
which
game.
another crazy game because Baker also plays
Also
phenomenal.
good was the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
Baker
again,
looks
Baker
great.
looks
Yeah,
great.
looks really good.
Baker's playing the best of his career. He finished the season great last year. Played the best we've ever seen play in the playoffs. He's carrying that over. He's playing great in the
Yeah.
regular season.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a battle between the Buccaneers and the Falcons
For that,
the
yeah,
division.
that-
Most definitely. I think the thing the Bucks have going for them the most
His experience.
is their experience. They've got arguably a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
And Mike Evans.
Godwin's a good receiver
good.
too.
Yeah, a lot of experience.
And they've been to the Super Bowl and won it in the
Yes.
past 5 years.
And the
You
thing
know?
is, that's the difference between the Buccaneers and Falcons. Well, the Falcons are good; they're still
building
gelling
their
as a
way
team,
up.
whereas the Buccaneers have been there as a team.
Yeah.
Well, not again. It was a couple
maybe
years
not
ago.
with Baker because
But,
Baker
yeah,
wasn't there.
but most of the team is still
most
there.
of the rest of the team, and they're playing great. They have the chemistry. They look like a really good team.
And
So-
real quick on the topic of Tampa Bay, hopefully with that storm coming, hopefully they don't get too much.
May not
we'll
be
see.
playing in that stadium.
We'll see how that
the
turns
rest
out
of
too,
the
because that's another
year.
story with this team. They're not playing at home this week. They're traveling, which I heard they're traveled today to get out
Probably a good thing.
there. But we'll see what the situation
their
is the rest of
stadium
yeah.
is
Hopefully,
yeah. Hopefully
So
the
break-
state
break
of
for Tampa
Florida
Bay,
is
yeah.
still there.
so that's another
Yeah.
thing. But luckily they didn't have a home game scheduled this week.
Yes,
so.
very good. Well, it would have been canceled or moved.
But they're got out of there and they're playing in New Orleans, which is our next team we got to talk about.
They started the season off looking like they had the
Kind of
best
the opposite
offense in the league.
of the Falcons. They started off strong and now
they look
they
so
look bad.
Derek,
Yeah, Carter's
Carr.
not been looking
Not
good the last
consistent.
couple weeks.
no.
And I don't know what it is. I mean, he's got some weapons. Kamara's had a couple great games. Carr looked good the first couple weeks, but it's still something's not
What was
there.
what's the meme? You can take the
The
Derek
Carr
Carr
out of the
out of
Raiders,
the
but you
Raiders,
can't
but
take
not
the Raiders out of
the
Carr.
car.
Yeah.
No. But like you said, Kamara
Kamara's
looks great
good.
for them.
I don't know if their defense isn't bad, but it's not great. And also offensively, like I said, they started good, but do they need another weapon?
I think Carr needs to. And the thing is, he's already been there and played for the team for a year now.
Yeah.
He
And he's a veteran
should
guy.
have more chemistry with his receivers. I think Olave had like 2 targets the last game,
Like,
and he's their number
yes.
one receiver. That makes
Olave
no
needs to get the
sense.
ball more. Rashid's done well,
Mhm.
or Rashid Shaheed, but
They need to spread
Outside
the
of-
ball
yeah.
out more. Derek, that's one thing Derek Carr's never really been good at is reads. Like, at least I've never seen it. I mean, he has games where he's
Yeah.
good, but then he has times where it's like
He's
throws
just
the
not
same
as
guy
con-
all
yeah.
the time.
He's just inconsistent.
Yeah,
you gotta get
Mhm.
Olave more involved. And we talked about earlier in the other video, with the Adams drama, he was a college teammate with Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Could that be a potential landing spot for
Yeah,
him?
and maybe you bring him back. Since
And that's
they were
part of
teammates
why-
before, you immediately
And
have
that's part
that.
of why he wanted to go to the Raiders, and then Carr left the year after, and so we'll see what ends up happening there.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah, we'll see.
Devontae Adams obviously likes Derek Carr. They've been teammates in the past.
And the Saints do have
see.
the pieces to move. I mean, maybe they do trade Olave and some picks. Or
We'll
something
see.
like
You
that
know,
to
you
the
never
team.
know.
Yeah.
But either way, they gotta get more consistent. Carr's gotta get more consistent. The run game's good. They gotta feed Kamara, and they gotta find more balance offensively with their passing game.
Yeah, they either only run or only pass. It seems like.
Yeah. So they gotta find more
Kamara
balance.
either has 500 yards and 8 touchdowns,
and spread
or
the
runs
ball
3
around.
times.
You know.
Yeah,
And their defense is just. It's not bad, not good. It's
the
there,
defense, middle of
but-
the road. Middle of the road.
So
It's a defense that ain't gonna win you any game, but it probably ain't gonna lose you.
yeah. So that's really all I gotta say about the Saints. But
Now moving on
last
to
but not least,
well, probably least.
yeah, probably least,
Very
actually,
well,
yeah.
maybe least actually.
the Panthers.
The Panthers.
We talked just a little bit ago about that trade with the Bears. It's probably just other than the Deshaun Watson trade, those competing right now for the worst trade
in history.
in history.
Yeah.
Bryce
Definitely
Young was,
recent history.
Bryce Young was benched in week 3.
I mean, Andy
So-
Dalton may give
He
you
stepped
the
in.
slightest bit of promise.
But the
If-
thing is,
yeah,
he stepped in and
but-
won that game,
yeah.
but it was
It-
against the Raiders.
If you would have
That
said,
too.
by the way, if you would have said in 2016 that in 2024 we'd be talking about Andy Dalton and Joe Flacco
True.
Yeah. Hey.
as starting quarterbacks, I would have been like, what?
The thing
Well-
is Bryce Young has not been great, but at the same time, he didn't go into a good situation either.
No, he
No.
didn't. And
So-
that's one thing with this team. David Tepper is.
And they like you said before, they didn't give him the time to.
No, when
sit
you
and
have a
get
rookie
experience.
quarterback, you have to, especially with someone like a Bryce Young. He showed a lot of potential. He was very good in college.
But he played with Bama in college, and now
And
he's
Bama
with
was,
team-
is
Yeah.
always one of the best teams in the country.
And
You
now
have
he
a phenomenal team
plays
around you.
at a team that doesn't have.
They have nothing. They
Yeah.
have no one, no protection. There's no O line. There's no one to throw the
And
ball
Andy
to.
Dalton, obviously, as a veteran, because he's been around, he's looked
Yeah.
better. But it's still they won that game against the Raiders.
There's
But
only
other
so
than that,
much they
but
can
I will
expect.
say, hey, you got to win. That's more than a lot of
Yeah,
people
more than
expected.
some.
So
Yeah. I feel
but
like
still.
the biggest thing is ownership is so important in the NFL. Team ownership. You can have a good owner and you can have a bad owner.
Mhm.
Take it from a Commanders fan.
Yes.
We have probably the worst owner in the NFL for 25 years. We sold the team. Last year we didn't play good. We still had all his crap. Got rid of it. This year we're starting off 4-1. We are playing great. Look like we might have an MVP rookie.
Yeah.
Might
Well,
win the NFC.
And in
might
our
make the
last video
playoffs, like-
too, we talked a little bit about the Bengals as far as they need to pay and
Yeah,
make
they
their
need
play.
to spend money. The
that's been
ownership
their
needs
issue.
to allow the team to
So
thrive.
it's the same with the Panthers.
Yeah, if you need to let football people do football things. David Tepper is not a football guy. He doesn't know anything about football. He owns a team and he has money and he sucks with football. And it's one of the biggest, and I sympathize with all Panthers fans. It sucks.
Well, and as a Commanders fan, as Bills fans, we've been there. We understand as far as
And also going back as well with the Browns.
yeah.
I think ownership will not let them bench Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. Well, because they made that trade. They're paying too much
They
money.
spent the money.
They made their
pretty
bed.
much
Now they
had
have to
to
sleep in
at
it.
this point.
You know, now they have to lay in it. That's
Because I can tell you based on the game, like when the Browns just played the Commanders, we whooped their butt because
Yeah.
they're just so good. It was a 4th down play, and Deshaun Watson, the coach wanted to go for it. Told Deshaun Watson to play in the headset. You could see Watson shut the headset off, shake his head, walk over to the coach, and the coach is just like, "What the heck?"
yeah.
Like, they had to take a delay.
Well, and Deshaun-
the coach clearly does not want
Yeah.
to start him.
When Deshaun Watson clearly has other
He
issues
doesn't
going
care.
on, but
He had a single-digit QB rating.
But the thing
you
is,
don't start
no.
that guy the next week.
But the thing is, it goes back to the ownership where they made that decision to get that
Exactly.
guy, and now that's where they're at.
Yeah.
You know. So with the Panthers, it's kind of a similar situation where they made a bad trade, and now they're kind of in a spot where what do you got? You know.
Yeah. The worst thing is now that they've benched Bryce Young, they can never start him again. He is now not the franchise
And I'll say
quarterback.
this: I think Bryce Young may in the future
He
have the
could be
potential to
good.
revive
He
his
could be
career,
good.
but it's not going to be
Not
there.
with the Panthers.
Yep.
The thing that sucks the most is the coach that they hired. I can't remember his name. I'm brain
Last
farting.
year, wasn't it Frank Wright who they hired?
Well, the new guy.
When they got a new guy this
Whoever
year,
the
I
new
don't
guy
remember
this
his
year
name.
is.
I can't even. Yeah.
It was week 3, a couple days before they announced the starter. He said, "We are not benching Bryson because the coach knows once you bench him, you
Yeah.
can't go back.
Yeah.
When
Well,
your
the thing
backup is Andy
the thing
Dalton,
is too is that last game that Bryce Young played before they benched him. You could see that Bryce Young's confidence was
defeated.
just gone, just gone.
the coach said he wasn't going to bench him. Not even a day later, they announced they benched him
Yeah.
because ownership made them.
And so that's going to be part of Bryce Young coming back. Is he's got to find a new team. He's got to find someone that's going to build him
Yeah.
back up because right now that's
There's
the
nothing
biggest
there.
thing. Yeah.
Honestly,
it's not
this is
good.
probably the one team where the Jets are in a better situation.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
Which is,
but
It's one. I mean, I don't know who's worse, the Patriots Or not, but they are starting May. We'll see what that.
The
The
Patriots
Browns
are
are in a bad situation.
The Panthers are the worst team in.
But the Panthers are the
Because
worst
it
team.
doesn't matter how good you are when your owner meddles in things, you will never be.
Well, the thing with the Browns is Sean Watson situation's bad, but they got a decent enough team aside from him. The Panthers are just bad.
Yeah, they have no
You know,
weapons
so-
really at all.
Panthers are bad on every facet of the ball. It's funny that Andy Dalton's still there, but Dave Tepper, sell the team. You suck.
But with that, I think that's our last
That's
team.
it.
So we've covered
Yeah.
the AFC in the last video. This is the NFC video, and
Go NFC, go commies.
as we are, about a third into the season, it's been a lot of great football. Looking
Yeah.
forward to the rest of the season, and I guess that's kind of it for our breakdown video.
Yeah.
Interested to see what happens this week again.
Yeah,
Big
we
game
got a
for
huge game.
You guys, we got a divisional game against a team that just
Mhm.
fired their coach. We'll see how that goes.
I'm gonna get.
Hopefully.
I may be
Better win, yeah.
maybe living the high life next week. We'll see.
Well, if they win next week, you'll be seeing it, and he'll be
I'll be
off the
letting
wall.
you know.
So with that, we will see you
Yeah.
next week.
See you guys in the next one.